Hey, awesome friends. I am Awesome Danny. Welcome back to the channel. What's that? These things on my head? These guys? They don't look dumb. It's called fashion. Look it up. Well, anyways, so these guys on my head right now are actually the Porta Pros from Koss. These guys right here. So I do want to thank Koss for sending these out to me for review. Thank you for making the video possible. I appreciate you guys. So with that out of the way, how many of you guys have been on that recent Fallout hype train? Like, I just finished watching the show recently and it was amazing. That show was great. I think it's my favorite video game adaptation like ever. It's really good. You guys should definitely check it out. But after watching the show, just going off of, you know, the good vibes from that show and all the hype around the show, myself, just like so many other people I've seen, decided to revisit Fallout, you know, the video games, which are probably some of my favorite games as well. I'm a big Fallout fan. A big part of video games is just the escape, right? You want to immerse yourself into the video game, live in that universe, and just completely lose yourself to what is happening in the video game, right? I actually decided that would be a great time to break these guys out of the box, because Koss sent me a bunch of stuff. Like, you're gonna see them on this channel a few times throughout the next couple months probably, but I wanted to focus on gaming with a lot of their stuff because they sent some gaming headphones that they recently released, and then visit some of their stuff that I've heard so much about in the audiophile space, but never got a chance to try it, like the Porta Pros. These headphones get a lot of, you know, talk in the audiophile spaces. In music, they were great. They're a little bit on the warmer side. They have, you know, adequate note weight and feel pretty open. They're not super trebly and harsh, so they also make for low fatigue listening, which is great. I figured that would be very well translated into immersive gaming like in Fallout. So long story short, I said I'm gonna try these in Fallout, and we're gonna start with Fallout 3, and that's currently where my replay is right now. I'm going through Fallout 3. So going back to the Porta Pros, they are $49.99 US dollars. They are an on-ear design. As you can see, the design of these is very unique, and actually I really enjoyed the design. Once I figured it out, it took a little bit to get used to, but once I figured it out, I really liked the design. So they, again, sit on your ears. They have a very thin and very lightweight frame, and as you can see, the band expands and then it easily contracts to fit your head size. And then you can also change the firmness of the band tension. So if you want the band to be a little bit harder to adjust, that way, you know, once you set it to the size you want and you don't want it to like move anymore, you can adjust that right here on the side. There's a little switch that can change from firm to light. These are also collapsible, so these guys fold up pretty small. Like, these are headphones, you know, they're not in-ear monitors. These are headphones. They just say on ear, but look how small they can get. So they're also very lightweight, like super light, and that makes for a very comfortable experience. Honestly, I could wear these for hours. The only issue I had was, since they're on ear, they're pressing on your ear. It took me a little bit to get used to, kind of like when I first moved to IEMs. It took me a while to get used to them being in my ear, but these guys, you know, did cause a little bit of fatigue because they're pressing on the outside of my ears the whole time I'm using them. Once I got used to it, you know, the fatigue went down, the soreness went down. But at first, yeah, the first day I kind of sat with these on for like 5 hours straight, and then after I took them off, I'm like, oh wow, my ear is a little sore, but that went away. Also, the cable has this little breakaway in the middle, just kind of weird. I'm used to, you know, detachable cables being at the source itself, like at the transducer there'd be a connection, That way you can detach the cable from there, and then you can get replacement cables. Well, you can get replacement cables for this too, but the breakaway, like right here. So it comes standard with a 3.5 millimeter cable, but if you need something different, Koss has options too. The connector is a 2.5 millimeter connector, so you can use other 2.5 millimeter connectors, but I mean, if you're already going to order something, if you can get it with them, then it's right there. They also send out a lightning cord and a USB-C cord, so plug into your phone if you have one of those or whatever. So overall, the build again is very lightweight, but it does feel a little bit on the cheaper side. Well, not cheaper, I guess. It's just a little bit light, feels a little bit fragile, but it seems like they were fine. My main concern is just the cable breakaway being over here instead of disconnecting right here. But I mean, it's whatever. Just make sure Sunny doesn't get your headphones, right, Sunny? All right, so let's go ahead and get into the experience using the Porta Pros while gaming. So I did mention music briefly. They were very good for music. Nice, good, full sound with low fatigue, and I felt like that was going to transfer very well to gaming, especially in something immersive like Fallout. So while using the Porta Pros, it was very easy to lose myself in the environment within Fallout. Fallout 3, in my opinion, has some pretty good audio design. There is constantly something, there is lots of environmental noises, very subtle stuff, like you'll hear the wind blowing or like something moving in a bush off to the side. And then also, again, footsteps if you're like creeping around in a vault as you're exploring, and you're like slowly moving around trying to make sure you don't accidentally run into too many enemies at the same time, and you can hear them moving around down the hall. You can hear their placement very well. That was something that was very helpful. But then once things get intense, these handle that very well as well. So once gunshots are going off, explosions are going off, you can feel the rumble, you can feel the intensity in those hectic moments very well. It just maybe needed a little bit more help keeping things separated. So that separation in the mid-range was a little bit, it sometimes would blend a little bit too much. But I mean, in immersive gaming, that's not too big of a deal, and it wasn't too immersive breaking at all. And it didn't break my immersion at all either. I did also take these into some more, high-paced competitive gaming like Destiny 2 and Helldivers. I think they did better in Helldivers than in Destiny 2, on Destiny 2 PvP to be exact. But overall, they did a great job in any type of gaming. So in Helldivers, you did feel, that intensity that impacts it. Like Helldivers is very intense in the sound design as well. The explosions and impacts of things hitting other things, metal on metal or bodies hitting the ground, hitting the walls, explosions. That was all very great, very immersive on these headphones. Same thing in Destiny 2, gunshots, explosions, everything, all the audio cues, sound effects, they're clear. Just not as well defined and crisp as some of the IEMs that I use for those gaming environments. So in PvP in Destiny 2, they did fine, and they could have just been a little bit crisper, a little bit cleaner, and a little bit more separated if you want to, get a little bit more out of it. Gear is not going to make or break gameplay. Like, if you're not good, you're not good, but it will help the experience. And just like with any other hobbies, the experience is everything. So anything you can do to tailor your to your experience is always welcomed. So just as a comparison, I'm going to compare this to some sets that I use in both scenarios, immersive and competitive gaming. Immersive will include media as well, like these for TV shows and movies. Awesome, great. Again, same thing in immersive gaming. These were very, very good and will probably be one of my main picks for any immersive stuff going forward. But a lot of times I would use stuff like the HD 600 for immersive stuff, just because they sound so open and they're full, but they do lack a little bit of that rumble, the little intensity, that substance that the Porta Pros have. It makes things more impactful, and you know, you can feel things better in competitive gaming. So something around this price point that I like a lot is the Truth Ear Zero, the original, the blue ones, not the red ones. The red ones are good, but they feel too smoothed over for me in competitive gaming. So I still prefer the original Zero, the Zero Blue as some people call them. So I still use those from time to time. They're like my under $100 benchmark set, but I don't like them as much for immersive stuff. They basically only see time in competitive gaming. But Porta Pros weren't far behind. They're just a little bit more blended together, a little bit too warm and a little bit too smooth. Details are a little bit less defined and concise, but soundstage is bigger. They feel more open. They feel a little bit more expansive and spacious, just softer in the sound. But overall, Porta Pros are a good pick. Like, I mean, $50. Yeah. I mean, what? A little bit unconventional in the design and the look. Oh, I guess I forgot to mention, they come with a little storage bag. I've been using the bag. They fit fine there. Collapse them, throw them in the bag. It's a nice bag too. Not like some little thin, cheap bag. Very portable. Great sound. Good for immersive gaming. Still pretty good for competitive gaming. And it's just hard to beat this like package. Like, just everything about them is so unique to them. The design, the feel, the look is, it's nice. So for my rec rating, so for the Porta Pros, they get a solid 3. For those of you that are unfamiliar, my rec rating system, it's 0, 1, 2, and 3. So 0 is like a hard no, 1's like a soft no, 2 is like a soft yes, and then 3 is like a hard yes. So these guys, in my opinion, are worth their MSRP. They perform very well. They're a good balance of just like a lot of things that I look for in a set, where it's like comfort and good sound and then good performance. I think these are a very good, just all around set that mostly everybody could appreciate. Oh, I guess also for another comparison point, as far as gaming headsets go, so anything that you guys can think of or that comes to mind for the mainstream gaming stuff. So I mean, I've been a gamer since I was very little, so I've used countless Turtle Beach, Razer, HyperX, Corsair headsets. I think there's probably a lot more, but those are like the main ones that come to mind. I've stepped away from a lot of those brands because their stuff, the way they're tuned, it's just usually very bass heavy, and that just impedes on the cleanliness and the separation of a set. These guys are going to be better than probably every single one of those brands that I've tried personally. So I don't have a lot of them on hand anymore. Once I stopped buying those brands, I just kind of never went back. But I made the first jump was the Philips SHP 9600, and then after that, just getting more into IEMs and stuff. It's just, there's really good options and usually better options in the stuff that doesn't advertise as gamer. Save money and look into something that's going to perform better. But check these out, guys. Honestly, very solid set. Again, I have more stuff coming from Koss, so thank you, Koss. Thank you, Patreons and YouTube channel members, for keeping the channel running. I appreciate you guys. And that's it. I am Awesome Danny, and until next time, you stay awesome, friends. Bye, and happy gaming.